Welcome into our Flame Central podcast studios powered by Alcova Mortgage. We are weeks away from fall sports competition starting up, but preseason is already underway for those teams, including field hockey. It's one of the most successful programs here on the mountain, and those expectations haven't gone anywhere this season. Last week, Matt Warner, Joe Yock, and I had the chance to sit down with head coach Nikki Parsley-Blocker to preview the season. Plus, Coach Nikki is switching up the defense to run Coach Mckay's Packline. Take a listen. One of my favorite coaches on the mountain, Nikki Parsley-Blocker.
She coaches.
Field hockey,
yeah,
you know,
see,
got my field hockey
look at
gear.
that. She wears her field hockey
Wearing
gear.
the swag.
Love to see. This is what happens when you actually cover a team that goes to a national championship. You know, you come back tighter than ever. Nikki, welcome to the Flame Central podcast, powered by Alcova Mortgage. You've been traveling, you know, lately, but report day, Tuesday, preseason, the show starts Wednesday. Are you ready for another year?
Let's go, baby.
About a month ago, I've been ready.
It
needs to start immediately. Yes,
you start getting that itch a little bit where it's like, okay, this
summer's over.
Yeah.
Summer's over like a month at least ago, for sure.
All right. What are your first initial thoughts on this team? You know, like just a little preview of what we can expect.
I think we're going to be really good on paper. I know that for sure. Obviously, it doesn't guarantee any results that we're going to get, but I think we're going to be fire.
Yeah.
Well, fire.
Fire.
Okay. That went from kind of like, you know, I think we'll be pretty good to jump to fire pretty quick.
I do. I just think it was hard coming off the national championship, and some people have settled in. Beth just got called up to train with the national team, which is incredible, and just, you know, a good crop of like not just players but leaders returning. So we're really excited.
When you have so many players, I feel like every time I get an email for work, it's like, oh, another field hockey player going to like a national team. Is that good that they're playing so much in the off season, or does that concern you at all?
No, I think it's really good. I think it's difficult in the U.S. being able to find, you know, really high-level ways to play in the summer unless you're a part of a junior national or a national team. So we're all for it, you know. It's great for them. They're obviously going to go compete and challenge themselves in a way that, you know, it's the highest that they can possibly go to, and then be able to come back and impact this environment.
You talk about, so Bethany Dykema, you just mentioned, right? And Reagan Underwood, she helped win the Pan Am games?
Yeah, the junior Pan Ams.
She scores the goal to win it, and you know, I guess 2 goals, right? One in regulation and one to win it. Like, when you see those players come back after experiences like that, can you tell a difference? Like, can you see like, okay, there's another level of, whether it's confidence or a skill set they've worked on and developed, like what does it look like when someone comes back from something like that?
I think, and from having done that, going to play internationally and coming back, the game is slower now when you come back to the NCAA. And it's not because it's bad, it's just, right, there's a different level. It's like going to the NFL and then playing in college. There's a difference in the level. So I think, you know, from a confidence standpoint, leadership, and then certainly the speed of play, it's like they're just able to execute at a different level than they were before, which is neat.
So what after you went to the national championship, one, what was that experience like? I'm sure you've been asked that 100 times, but what was that experience like? 2 is you said, what did you lose from that next year, and then what did you figure out as a coaching staff in order to get it back to be able to get to that next level?
I think going was incredible. I think something that a lot of people don't realize until we went to the national championship, I had never even been to an NCAA postseason as a player or a coach. So it was like, wow.
All new.
Everything. And so we just burst onto the scene. And we knew that we were, you know, going to have a special year, but it's sport. You don't know. Like, it's a razor's edge between winning and losing. We could have easily have lost one of those games in the lead up, but just a blessing to be able to be there. And then I think coming off it was tough because it's just like doing anything for the first time in life. You don't know what you don't know until you go through it. And I think a lot of life is, you know, you just have to learn by doing. So I would definitely do things differently if we ever get, you know, that opportunity to be back on that stage in a national championship. Hopefully we win it. But I would do some things differently because I learned from it. And so then I think now, like, the girls have stepped up because we didn't just lose great field hockey players. We lost incredible leaders, and Jill Bolton, Maddie Hostler, Ashley Eichema, all of these kids that were, you know, Kendra Jones, she was a part of the team for 6 years. And then they left, you know, so it took time. Like, yes, we still won the Big East last year, and we had a really great year. But I think it just took us time. That's a lot of things in life. Like, everybody wants things instantly, but it does take time to settle back in and figure out, all right, like what does this next generation and next era of Liberty Field hockey look like?
Well, when you go to the national championship, those expectations are set. Do you like that
Exactly.
pressure as a coach?
I always feel like I'm at my best with pressure. Like sometimes I wish I felt like I feel like I'm in the zone in those moments, both as a player and now coaching. And I don't really know why. I've tried to ask myself, like, why is that? How can I find that sweet spot more just like through the regular season? Yeah, so I think it's fun. I think pressure is what you perceive it to be. Like it's as big of a deal as you want to make it. So try to just keep steady.
How much, as we've gotten now further and further away from the national championship, how much have you seen just the perception of the Liberty program, the Liberty brand in field hockey grow? Because you always think, oh man, this will be totally different. But then you go out on the road, then you're in recruiting circles. Like, what have you seen?
So I wasn't sure how it was going to impact recruiting, but after we went to the national championship, 2024, that was last year's recruiting class, and we easily have a top 3 recruiting class domestically, which is huge for us. So, we have a couple kids that are on the junior national team coming out of high school. So I would say it was huge, just because the exposure was there. People was like, oh, we saw you play on TV. We saw you guys in those big moments. So I definitely think it's helped for sure. I wasn't sure if it was going to, but I would say, just from the exposure itself.
Coach recently just got back, speaking of recruiting, from Argentina. My first question is, do you need an assistant?
We'll take you. Come on, next year.
A travel assistant, a taste tester every single time, whether you're going across the pond or down to South America. I'm like, I'm trying to go. And she's like, well, I'm like, how's the food? Because that's obviously the first question. She's like, well, it's really just steak and bread. I go, sign me up. That's really all I need.
Unbelievable. And the people are even better. So next year, this time,
Is Liberty Field Hockey, because we just think, in most sports, we just think in the U.S. But for you, are you finding now that Liberty Field Hockey is well known and you're developing those connections around the world and specifically in Argentina? I know we've had some studs from there.
Yeah, so the guy that invited us, Paolo, he's incredible. We were the #1 requested school at the showcase, and then UNC. So I think it's pretty good because they won the national championship this past year, and obviously phenomenal program. So for whatever reason, like Argentina is a hot place for us right now, and people love Liberty down there. So we're just gonna keep riding that wave because the hockey there is unbelievable. They were second at the last Olympics. They're phenomenal. So.
Joe, what do you know about?
We got to get a Flame Central affiliate in Argentina. We need to make that happen.
No doubt.
Well, we did media training a little bit ago, and there was a South African field hockey player, right? Wasn't it?
That's right. You guys have had a lot of success from that.
Oh, yeah. You guys are famous. And I'm like, man, okay.
She goes, we watch your show all the time. She goes, we watch your show at home all the time. We're like, South Africa, we've got that covered. But we need to get in Argentina. Yeah.
Joe, what do you know about field hockey?
My field hockey knowledge is pretty vast. I mean, keep your stick on the ground, right? You got to keep your stick on the ground. And I don't know much more than that. I used to when I was at UNC, our field hockey team, I believe, won the national championship in the 90s. And then
you just guessed.
And then
and you could be right.
No, I was there when they won it. But we win a lot of national championships. It's pretty regular there. So anyways,
not in football.
But yeah, that's true. But wait, what was I gonna say? You got me off track here.
Stick on the ground.
No, stick on the ground, right? What is the? Here's what.
Watching this develop.
No. Yeah. Here's what the question I was going to say. I want to know. Oh yeah, I know what it was. UNC. The girl who got hired.
Erin Matson
at UNC. She's never coached in her life. She just finished playing. She was a senior last year, National Player of the Year, right?
Is that right?
Don't act me like. Yeah. And she got hired as the head field hockey coach at UNC. What do you think about that? See, I did. Don't
wow.
I knew exactly where I was going, and I know about field hockey. So back off.
It took us 20 minutes to get there.
Wow.
Yeah, Erin Matson. What do you think about her getting hired as UNC's head coach?
What an opportunity. You know what I mean? That's literally the #1 job in the country. I think you look across all their sports, though. Like you alluded to this. Yeah. They jokingly call it, University of National Champions.
Yeah, that's true.
Women's lacrosse. Women's soccer, their Olympic sports are unbelievable. Yeah. So I think that you're set up for success no matter what age you are. I took over the Liberty job when I was 24. She's a few years younger, so.
You were 24?
I'm biased by my experiences, but I don't think that age should be a limitation. And if that's the person that they think can be successful there, then good for you. Take the job.
Wow, you just shoved that right back in Joe Young's face. You thought you were going to get negativity from her.
No, she didn't
you were
negative.
trying. You know, this is what we teach in media training, and you just
It's the Liberty way.
crushed that. That
Okay,
answer was fire.
That was a great answer. Great answer. Now, here's what I want to know. When you
Why
look,
do you have to keep your stick on the ground?
You don't.
you don't. When you look, I'm trying to be serious right now. You know,
Since when?
I don't know when, but I just started. When you look at your team preseason from when you went to the national championship on paper, because you said hey, your team this year looks like really good on paper.
Yeah.
And then you use the word fire, which is good.
Well, it still means absolutely nothing. It's on paper.
Correct, on paper. But when you go back, go back to that national championship season on paper, preseason, then going there, and then you look at this team currently on paper, how does it match up?
That's actually a really good question.
Yeah.
I think the talent level is there, but I think there's so much more that goes into being a championship team than talent. If it was just about talent, more people would be doing spectacular things. You know, it's the culture, it's the chemistry, it's how they come back, how we gel as a group. You know, we're implementing a new system this year, which we're really excited about, a new way to defend, which we've never done before.
You doing Packline defense?
Hey, how does he know? Let's go.
Is it? Is it?
Yes.
Something like that?
I met up with Joe Pierre.
Did you really?
Ritchie, and was like, hey, I wanna assimilate this to field hockey.
Hating on me.
Yeah.
Wow.
How did he know this? 10 of 10.
Stop hating on me.
Joe Young signing off, field hockey expert.
Thank you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
is
they're
this
going
something that's utilized a lot in
No,
field? So you're
I just
kind of
made it
breaking
up.
breaking new ground.
We're trying
So-
to. We'll see how
Wow,
it goes.
you heard it here first on the Flames Digital Podcast powered by Alcova Mortgage.
So are you trying to force the ball wide towards the end line?
Give away all the secrets, but yes, to the outside.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
outside,
we don't want it
then you don't want it inside, and then
in the middle.
you give lanes to the middle, but then you want to close those off, so they got to kick it back out.
You want to double
correct?
team everywhere.
Yeah, you want
Well, in the trap
double
zone.
team the lanes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take us
This
back.
is awesome.
So you just call up Joe Pierre.
I did.
Or
I
Coach
said
Mckay,
Joe-
and you guys
yeah.
all sat down together.
Yeah,
I
tell
sat
us about
down
how
with
this went
Joe.
down.
So came in off. We lost to Maryland in the Sweet 16 last year in double overtime. And against those top teams, top 5 team, even the year we went to the finals, the athleticism, and it's no knock to us, like our kids are phenomenal and they're great athletes, but there's still sometimes, you know what I mean? The athleticism of the #1 team in the country is just, it's going to be different. So kind of what I was alluding to earlier, you have to find ways to close the gap, and that's kind of the premise of the Packline, you know, is we can double team, we can send extra numbers to the ball just like they do in basketball and deny, they call it in basketball the restricted area, but for us it's called the POMO, which is the, you know, the position of maximum opportunity. Like 70% of all goals in field hockey internationally at the highest level are scored from there. So
keep
we
your
don't
stick
want to
on the
allow
ground.
keep the stick
On the ground. Please don't.
we don't want to
score.
let the ball in there. So we just sat down and talked to Joe and was like, okay, teach me the pack line as if I was a freshman coming in.
Yep.
I would
And
love to have been in that meeting.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
It was
Keep
probably
'em out of the POMO.
one of the best things
Yeah,
I
keep
did
'em
all
out of the
year.
POMO.
That is really cool.
Yeah, and then, I mean, people play zonal defense in field hockey, especially at the men's level. It hasn't trickled down as much internationally to the women's side yet. So, you know what? We're just going to be a front runner.
That is, like, how exciting is that?
my gosh,
Knowing that, like,
this
we're
is-
going to
I'm
try
like-
something like, nobody's tried it, like, or not to this level. Like,
Yeah.
have you been developing a lot of like, okay, here's how we're going to teach this now, or here are drills now that we have to come up with that simulate what we're going to see and how we.
It was so much fun. It was probably one of the most fun off seasons. Like, probably the year we did close the gap that was leading up to the, 2021. And then this past year, just because it's fun to challenge yourself. Like, we want to be better tomorrow than we are today. I don't want to be
Why are you
average.
so excited about this?
Wow.
Yeah, it's all
So
fresh
I think
new.
it's going to be cool. I think we piloted the entire spring. So obviously we have to teach it to the freshmen, some of the transfers that we have. But I think that it has good potential. We'll see,
How did
obviously.
the team in the spring respond to it? Were they like, this is totally different than what I'm used
Yes.
to? Is there a lot of that?
Yes, but they loved it.
Yeah.
Because once we started doing it and we were very successful.
Yeah, buy in.
The only team that beat us in the spring was UNC. We scrimmaged them twice. So I think that they were, at first they were like, oh, this is really uncomfortable because it's new, something new. That's what it's going to be.
You know, I just to let you know, that's awesome. But I am available for film breakdown if you need me.
All right,
And
hired.
we can, we can definitely
Well,
talk about
that's
We got to get Coach McKay
That's
out
really
to a
interesting.
practice. And,
Yes.
well, like, I'm not trying to.
No, I would love that. Let's do
Wouldn't
this.
that
Mic him
be-
up.
Yes.
Yes.
That's really interesting because like we know, we've heard it now for 8, 9 years, however long Coach Mckay's been here about, the Packline and how, it takes time and you have to get better. There's layers to it. And every year, guys get a little bit better and it does take time and all that. But you see it and people will be like, oh, what is this? It's just a deep, whatever. But you've seen it time and time again, them hold teams down and narrow that gap.
They shouldn't be able to.
Right.
And people think it's boring, but it's not. It's such an intense way to defend. I don't think it's passive at all. I think it's extremely aggressive. So
that's
I'm
really
excited
interesting.
about it.
Now I want to watch this and see how it works.
Yes, you're gonna see.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll help you with it. Don't worry.
Get out of here. Yeah.
I'm counting on it.
Okay, so you guys got some upgrades to your practice facility. Tell us about, what's new with Liberty Field Hockey in terms of facilities.
Yes, so Ian and Christy, they were incredible. After we went to the finals, they're like, okay, we want to be able to, upgrade some of the facility. And we already have a top 5 place in the country. You can't really go many other places in field hockey and find a better facility, especially with the mountains in the background. It's a blessing. Every time I walk in the field, every day, I'm just like, I can't believe that I work here. And this will be my 7th season as a head coach. That's also horrifying. I know. But so they put in new dugouts for us. They're actually building them right now. So they're going to be permanent structures. And then they're building a new team room as well for us too. So that is happening. But it's rolling out.
What's going in the team room? Like, we going ping pong? Or we going, video games?
I'm so boring. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not even a fun answer. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not good.
I'm just excited for the kids to have an extra place to be because the freshmen live 100 yards from the field hockey field, so they're just around all of the time. So it'll just be nice for them to have an extra space to hang out in.
Do you remember when we went out of the office with you doing that
Mountain
mountain biking?
biking? I
And
remember.
Doug's behind the scenes over here ate it.
He crashed.
For that
Still
one
has
go.
it.
I
He
did
still
hear
has
that.
a mean limp, but every time we see him and we're like, how's that leg? He's like, all for Nikki. And I'm like, all right, whatever.
All right, tell us about your schedule a little bit this year because I know you guys always seem to have some big, obviously Big East is pretty good, especially at the top, but like you get some high-profile non-conference opponents as well. This year, same thing?
Yeah, same thing. I think someone that's new on the schedule that we haven't played in a couple years as very good is Harvard. So they're returning back to us. American. Yeah, American's going to be another fun one just because Bryn Underwood, Reagan's sister, is the goalie.
Oh, really?
So don't miss that one.
Sibling bragging rights.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, that home?
It's at home, and Harvard's at home.
I love
We
that.
go down to UNC. We have Duke as well.
Yeah.
So it should be good. UConn and ODU are here, which are awesome. Obviously, big rivalries within the Big East, and they're both at home.
How are
So
the
we like
Dukies?
that. It's Duke.
Yeah, beat them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Beat them.
I know it's just on paper, but who are you looking at for your leaders this season?
So our team leadership council, it's always comprised of people from every class, just because if you just make seniors, your captains, then they leave and you have to start over. So if you get people in, they're sophomore, junior, senior, typically don't put a freshman on right away, but we will in the spring. So who we have for that, Martu Sian, one of our Argentinians, is on that. Bethany, obviously, Ellie, Lexi Hostler, Reagan Underwood. I feel like I'm missing one. I'm definitely missing one. But those are our team leadership council. So
You say Reagan?
yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
We have some sharp kids.
Oh,
Lou
okay.
Combrink.
Awesome.
And she's come back from, they're great. So, we meet with them on a weekly basis throughout the entire year, and we're switching some things up. We kind of have it broken into half of them are their title, their role is heads of hockey, and then the other half are the keepers of culture. So the way that we're going to kind of do it, we'll meet with them as a whole unit, 1 week. The next week, Coach Al will lead the heads of hockey. Coach Heather will lead the Keepers of Culture meeting, and we're kind of break things up differently than we have before.
The Packline leaders.
The pack,
Leaders of the pack.
leaders. I like it. Leaders of the
Feel
pack.
free
here for
to.
you.
That might be
Yeah.
a T-shirt. Feel free to use that. Yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Have you seen the field hocky field or pitch?
Yes, I have seen
Blue.
it.
Blue turf.
Yeah.
Blue.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, they
so
tore it up. They tore it up and put it down here last year or so.
Yeah.
How long has it been?
put it down with the stick. Is a blue field a thing in field hockey?
It's definitely the international standard.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
the
Because when I
last
saw you
3
in
Olympics.
Argentina, I saw that all the fields are blue. And
Yes,
I'm
and they
why are
have
the
pink
fields
around
blue?
all their fields there. They love pink in Argentina. I don't know. Not here though. Not me.
I know. I remember when
I'm
we were
just, like,
covering
not
them for
feeling
the
that.
national championship. She goes, "If you say in one more of your reports the Lady Flames Flames.
I don't
I'm
believe
kicking
in
you off this trip.
But the Flames have a gender.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
No,
they do
thank
not.
you.
Not that I'm aware of.
We're just the Flames.
I mean, these days.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But why blue?
So the last 3 Olympics since 2012 have been there. And from a viewership standpoint, they say that it's easier, like when you watch it on ESPN, it's easier to see the ball in the field. And obviously, you know, we are red, white, and blue, so perfect.
No, it's perfect.
Yeah,
Too
yeah,
easy.
we love it. There's only a few, like UVA has a blue field, Yale has a blue field. There's a couple other ones, but not many. So, yeah,
love
we're
it.
loving it.
Going international, baby. All right. You guys got anything else?
Yeah.
Yeah, wait.
Here we
Yes,
go.
Joe.
Don't you forget.
I
This is
think
something
you
we
have done
everyone
one
do.
of these before, but
No,
I
I've
think it was
not.
just before.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Look right in that
gosh,
camera
you
right
guys are the
there.
best.
Hold that mug up.
Hold
We
that
have every
mug right
guest do
there.
this.
Say Flames Central Podcast. Listen, it's not hard. It's easy. It's easy. Flames Central
And then
Podcast.
if you hold up like this, you can actually read the last part of it. You say
Powered
Flames Central Podcast, powered by Alcova
Alcova
Mortgage.
That's all you do. Just
Alcova.
say it like you
Alcova
truly mean it.
Mortgage.
Central Podcast, powered by Alcova Mortgage. You got it. Too
I
easy.
don't want to do it. I hate things like
Just,
this.
just easy.
Yeah,
Just go ahead.
well,
Throw it.
No,
Fire
guys,
it
I
up.
don't want to do it. Don't make
Oh
me.
wow! This is
Wow.
the first time this has ever happened.
It's a turn
Like my
down.
hands started sweating. I don't like it.
She doesn't like the pressure of the Flame Central
I
Podcast
thought you
powered
thrived
by
under
Alcova
pressure.
Mortgage.
Not when speaking.
It's Flames Field Hockey and the Flames Central Podcast, powered by
Alcova Mortgage.
Bam.
Yeah. Okay. That's it.
All right.
That's it. Good
Coach,
compromise.
really looking forward to catching you guys
Yeah,
this season.
yeah.
We have, the My Moments segments. We're going to get those
It's My
lined up.
Moments.
Because you know the My Moments, the top moment in a Liberty uniform with some of your athletes. Want to
Yes.
get those?
Yes.
Because you know that some of those moments are going to be some of the best in LU.
I'm going to a field hockey game this year.
If
Got
you
to.
do not, come on. We're trying to have the best home game
I'm gonna go
experience in the
field- I'm
country.
gonna
feel
We're
like
bringing
it.
out the marching band. Be
I
there.
saw you practice one time.
Really?
I did see you practice, yes, because my son was playing lacrosse, and so on the field next to you, and I was just sort of walking around checking, and you guys were over there practicing around
stick
it.
on the ground.
Lot of stickles on the ground. Lot of chatter. Everybody's talking, chatter.
Coach, I know you're so busy, so thanks so much for stopping by. Good luck with preseason and into
Go
the
get 'em,
season.
Coach.
We'll definitely
Go
catch up with you
Flames.
soon.
Go Flames.
Go
Yes.
Flames. Great to catch up with Coach. Liberty has exhibition games against Wake Forest on August 14th, App State on the 18th, and then the Flames will officially start their season against Kent State on August 25th. We now turn to some devastating news. It's with heavy hearts we share the loss of one of our football players, offensive lineman Taj Boyd. He joined our Flames football family back in January and was such a special young man. His impact not only on this program, but on his teammates, coaches, and all of us staff will be felt for years to come. We thank God for bringing Taj into our lives on the mountain. He will be dearly missed, and we will always remember him as a Flame. As we grieve together as a family and seek guidance, comfort, and understanding from the Lord during these difficult times, please join us in keeping Taj's family and friends in your prayers.